Hi everybody, I'm Jess, your go-to Street Fighter bestie, and we are here taking a look at the special episode of Street Woman Fighter Vietnam. I believe this is the second one, and I also believe it's going to be affiliated with just extra context behind Bada's visit, as well as more battles that were going to be had. And I do know at this point the episode for the episode 8 is just launched, and so I'm going to look at that as soon as I'm done looking at this, but there may be a chance these get flip-flopped on YouTube. So I think that's super fine, and I think everyone's here for all the good times anyway. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Excuse me. To the push-ups, let's go, let's go. MC's in the building, ay, ay, ay.
Dạ vâng, xin quay trở lại cuộc trận đấu khắc phục chỉ điểm kẻ yếu. Ready, fight!
Ready, fight, let's go.
Thú vị đây, một lần nữa. Mời lên sàn đấu. Lên lên của nhóm Swfv. Mời em. Vũ công nào sẽ là vũ công mà lần này em muốn lại một lần nữa đánh bại trên sàn đấu này sẽ là ai?
Vũ công mà em có thể đánh bại được trên sàn đấu này là ai đây?
Shing! I've missed the shing, man.
Chị mayonnaise salad. Chị mayonnaise salad.
Yeah.
That's
Một
funny.
lần nữa mình lại được thách đấu rồi. Mày ơi, cảm xúc như thế nào mày?
Dạ vâng. Thì thật sao thì Linh Lê cũng là một biên đạo của em. Và Linh Lê cũng là một người thầy của em. Và đây Linh Lê hãy xem.
I really like Mayonnaise pants. They're
Chị
cute.
diễn hơi nhiều, bây giờ chị đã nhảy nhiều hơn cho em xem.
Yeah, bây giờ là một cái trận đấu thú vị vậy ta. Và
Let me also say this. You notice that I am looking over here. One of my subscribers took the time to actually send me a translation of the whole episode, meaning like they just sent me a little Google Doc of it. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. The fact that I can actually watch this and follow along, it's Lee Min Kwang, thank you. So if you see them in the comments, give them a big shout out for the fact that I'm able to understand context. So far, if you're with me, and you also don't know Vietnamese, let me tune you in here. So context of what we just saw. So far is Lin Lei, also actually some of the best freestyle battles according to F.E.D's check, and she gained respect from many of the members. Lin Lei actually choreographed one of Mayonnaise songs, is what I was told at the 110 mark.
No.
Context.
bắt đầu.
Here we go.
Ready,
We're gonna
fight!
go with the battle. Here we go.
Let's go! Let's go it!
I like her flow a lot. Flow means her connection between her movements. I like the fact that she's listening to the track, regardless if she knows it or not. She's listening to it. That's just a little. That's a Zulu spin. She could have stacked it more. Whatever. You know, that's fine. It's fine. Drop down's fine. That's fun.
Năm, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch!
Manor is getting a lot of experience in battling in ways that can be very helpful for her in the future. It said, simmer down. Oh, part of me was waiting for her to hit them folks, but they were never hit. Oh, that's okay. That happens.
4, 3, 2, 1. Trận đấu kết thúc.
Okay, so for this, my vote is gonna go to Swfv. I like Swfv's. I like how she phrased a lot of her choices, and she had some groove in there, which I always have a preference towards, especially if you're gonna do hip hop.
3, 2.
So I think it should be a clean sweep Swfv, but these lady judges love to show salad when they can. Thank you.
Một lần nữa, chiến thắng áp đảo với 3 thẻ màu đỏ dành cho nhóm Swfv. Chúc mừng Linh Lê.
Oh, it's still early on in the losing streak, so there's a chance they don't feel that type of like, they don't feel that sentiment yet.
Mình có ý kiến gì về phần thi đấu vừa rồi không ạ?
Cái này thì nhìn có rõ ràng rồi, bởi vì Linh Lê có kinh nghiệm battle, cho nên là về cái phần âm nhạc ấy là bạn ấy rất là thuộc các cái beat của từng cái đoạn nhạc một, cho nên bạn rằng rất là chuẩn luôn. Còn Mayonnaise thì có vẻ như là chưa thuộc nhạc lắm, cho nên là chưa có nhấn được vào những cái, chưa ăn được con beat.
Okay, so DLA's comment, we'll just make her acronym that. Lin Lei is very experienced when it comes to freestyle battles, so in this battle she managed to catch the beat well and feel the music. Mayonnaise, on the other hand, didn't seem to vibe with the music, thus not hitting the beat and creating a hook point. So like I can kind of see that. I also think it's just, it goes down to, it's nice that we establish, yes, Lin Lei is an experienced battler, but we never use experience as a justification for things. That's good for like, what's the word? Like feedback if they're wanting to find areas to grow in. It's like experience really helps, but she just hit the beat better. Like she hit her music better. She created more polyrhythmic moments. She had some beat kills. She had some nice moments that kept you engaged. But we also have to remember too that with these types of cuts that they have in the show, they're about as bad as Mnet's, meaning that we were not going to get the full picture of what it actually looks like from the vantage point of the judges. We only get whatever they choose to show us. So I don't mind her comment here as much as some of her other comments she's made in these matches, but I want to be someone who always advocates for it does not matter your experience when it comes to winning or losing. That can be a factor as to the risk, the percentage of success versus failure, I would say, going in, but I, as a judge, can't just automatically assume, okay, Mayonnaise has no experience, Lin Lei does, she's gonna get the win, and that's just simply why. There's other things that we can obviously look at too that experience has helped her with, but experience alone is not the only thing that made it Lin Lei better than Mayonnaise, if that makes sense. And I think that's why, and I know too that's probably not her intention, but I'm an advocate for that because there are people out there who just rely upon age or your your credentials or your experience to justify things versus what you actually look at and what's in front of you. So I want to keep that in mind too. Mayonnaise kept moving, she kept dancing the whole time.
Đúng rồi. Nhưng mà ví dụ như là những bạn mà đã có kinh nghiệm về battle ấy thì sẽ cảm âm rất là tốt, rất là nhanh. Nên là các bạn sẽ ngay lập tức các bạn có thể chuyển thể loại và hoặc là chuyển cái cảm nhận của mình để mình có thể làm sao để mình làm được tốt nhất cái phần battle. Thì ở đây là mình nhìn thấy quá rõ ràng rồi.
Cảm ơn chị Lâm Anh. Chị Harry Won thì sao ạ?
Tuy là có những cái sự chênh lệch nha, nhưng mà nói chứ cái dòng nhạc hội này mà Mayonnaise làm á, với Harry nha thì Harry cảm thấy là cái nhạc đó hơi khó nhảy để battle. Một người thì kinh nghiệm 0 năm, mà cái thái độ, cái tinh thần á, khi mà bạn Mayonnaise làm á thì cảm giác là có đồ chơi. Nói chung là cái tinh thần của em thì chị cảm thấy rất là hay. Cái đó thì Harry cảm thấy là bạn rất là giỏi và một cái chút kỳ vọng nào đó về bạn. Cảm ơn.
Okay, Harry won. She said the music for Mayonnaise's turn seemed quite challenging for battling. especially when she has zero experience, is kind of like the preface of that.
Và Wu-tae ơi, ý kiến của Wu-tae thì sao?
사실 이 배틀은 어쩔 수 없는 이제 실력 차이가 보일 수밖에 없었던 배틀이라고 생각이 들긴 해요. 근데 사실 그 춤을 처음 시작했을 때가 발전하는 과정이 그 실력이 느는 게 제일 잘 보일 때가 저는 지금 이때라고 생각이 들거든요. 그리고 여기에서 유일한 래퍼 참가자신 거잖아요. 그러니까 아무래도 음악에 대한 이해도가 또 다른 부분으로 또 좋은 점이 많이 있을 거기 때문에 이 미션이 거듭될수록 실력이 발전되는 거를 많이 보여줬으면 좋겠어요.
Yeah. Cảm ơn Wu.
Well, Wu-tae said this battle showcases clearly the difference in each person's dance level. I do have to point out Mayonnaire showed her progress in this battle. The fact that she is the only rapper in the show, her ability to feel the music should be good. I can understand Wu-tae's point to that. You know, whenever you're in in an art field, or if you're in a music-based field, you tend to have a more above average ear than others who aren't, because of just your saturation within it. And so especially whenever you're dealing with street dance, there is a huge overlap in the rap scene that comes with that, specifically in hip-hop and in breaking, because of the importance of emceeing. So I could totally understand his point to that too. And of course we've already touched on, you know, I understand that our judges, they are also providing feedback to be helpful, hopefully at times. So I know that some things that are worded are of course off of a translation, which I think is, you know, there's a lot of culture context that can come into that, as well as just, they're there to be helpful, not just say, here's the winner, here's why, I guess. But sometimes they're helpful, sometimes we're not. We've already kind of established that too.
Okay, thank you. Trận đấu tiếp theo sẽ lại là một lần nữa một thành viên chưa từng được bước lên sàn đấu này. Let's go! Xin được giới thiệu của công Mouse King.
Mouse King.
Chào Mouse King.
That's actually a very fitting name for her, because she's like petite. And she has she's like a cute little mouse. It's really cute.
Oops. Wow. Nó non trẻ. Nó trẻ. Nó trẻ. Non á.
Non.
Nhưng mà đối với chị á, oops, để mà chị đấu với tụi em thì game này quá là dễ. Chị sẽ chọn game khó hơn. Thủ công mà tôi có thể đánh bại là Mai Thiên Quân. Có thể đánh bại là Mai Thiên Quân and S Warrior.
Hey, they're all like, not me. The majesticness. Oh man, I wanted to pause on her creds.
Trận đấu này sao tôi thấy cũng có cảm giác hơi căng căng. Mai Thiên Quân, lần này mình có đếm được là lần thứ mấy mình được thách đấu chưa?
Thứ 3 và một lần mình tự Conan, thì round này sẽ là round thứ 4.
Lần thứ 3 được thách đấu và một lần mình đi thách đấu người khác là đã nhảy 4 lần rồi. Đây cũng là một đối thủ mà được khá nhiều đối thủ khác chăm chút chăm sóc cho đây ạ. Mọi người đã sẵn sàng chưa? Yeah, let's go. Và trận đấu bắt đầu. Ready? Fight!
lot of hinges. She's like, yes, calm down, maybe? Simmer down? Maybe it's just like, or maybe it's her. She's like, I'm gonna chill out, we're gonna approach it. They just said audio overlay so we don't hear what's going on in the space as much. Ooh. Okay. Interesting she chose to go like with a little house progression there. I like that she caught it. It's nice. I don't consider that like a clean victory for me. I mean, I'd probably give it to SS Warriors because of her phrasing, and she was able to, you know, she was very mindful of her music more so than Mouse Kings. And for me and my personal preference, I do care about musicality and your integration of your movement to your music extensively. So that is going to be a determining factor for me versus other people. And of course, with your judges, it is what it is. But I don't think that this would be like the cleanest victory either. Like Mouse Kings held her own mighty fine. It was great. I do think she ended up repeating quite a few times her setups and her hinges. So I think that kind of not interrupted the flow, but it definitely didn't make it feel as creative in her choices, and that can come into play here when creativity is a factor that is looked at whenever you're showcasing freedom and freedom of movement for sure. So that would be my vote. I'd go for SS Warriors for this, but Mouse Kings did a great job too. She did fine. It was good.
Trong một giây phút kia đã bị cuốn theo trận đấu mà quên gọi cái hiệu lệnh báo giờ. Kết quả sẽ như thế nào đây? Xin mời ba vị giám khảo.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. There was a whole thing. It was around like 9:17. This is my thing, Kwan's fourth time in the battle. The former three were her being the one to choose her opponent, and now her first time being called out. Ooh, okay.
Sẵn sàng đưa ra lựa chọn nha. 3.
So now we're gonna get to what the comments say.
Xin mời lật thẻ. Cut open.
I have to remember to like, look at this, tie. I wouldn't necessarily hate a rematch for this one either, but my vote would go to SS Warriors. A tie. Yeah. She's like, that's fine. A tie, that doesn't necessarily surprise me here compared to other times where I've seen ties. But I don't mind it though, because also keep in mind too, this is the fourth time that she's going specifically, so there could be a little bit of vocabulary fatigue, meaning how she's presenting herself or some overlaps in things that we've already kind of encountered in her previous battle. So that is a real thing. That is a hard thing when you deal with battles and tournaments, is that you're not just competing physical stamina, but creative stamina. And I've mentioned that quite a few times, so that doesn't surprise me really that much, but I'm looking forward to seeing what this rematch entails. Here we go. Wu-Tae said, I'm not even gonna put, he said, I'm not even gonna do it. And he said, good choice.
Yeah, có thể thấy được chúng ta đã có một sự thống nhất một lần nữa đến từ ba vị ban giám khảo. Đó chính là chúng ta sẽ có một trận tái đấu. Nào 40 giây. Cả hai vũ công của chúng ta sẽ cùng nhảy một lúc trên một nền nhạc nha. Trận đấu tái đấu bắt đầu. Ready? Fight!
At the same time. That was cool. I like Mouse King playing around like that. That's kind of fun.
5, 4, 3, 2,
I can see Mouse King taking that. I mean, I'd say out of most battles I've seen with Salad involved, I mean, there was the one with Rosie, and I still stand by that. I do feel like Rosie could have pulled a win for her team for that one. I could see Mouse King pulling a win for this one too in the tiebreaker because, like I said, with SS Warriors, I don't know context as much. It does feel like she didn't really explore the floor as much. Is that due to fatigue? Is that due to just the vibe of the song for herself? Her flow and her connections are really nice, but they don't, for this type of show, they don't showcase those type of like wow elements that a lot of people tend to look for, especially who your judges are. They look for those things. So part of it is strategy and knowing what type of audience you have. It's the difference between competing at Just Debut and Red Bull Dancer Style. They're very different audiences, very different types of people adjudicating you. So you modify your movement quality accordingly based on what you signed up for. And that is okay to know that going in. Now, is that fair? Of course, I would prefer there to be, a sense of objectiveness in the panel. That's really kind of hard to do in these types of environments. And we've really seen that firsthand on the show, in the franchise, not just isolated to Vietnam, but every time we've seen Street Fighter, there's always been huge discrepancies in the judging panel, but that's a completely side topic. So my point being, I feel that it is something to note, though, that Mouse King did levels. She did staging. She made some really cool moments, but also I would say that SS Warriors, she also had those moments in her very beginning round. So I could see them swinging either way. I would have voted SS Warriors for the first one, but if it's just based off of this rematch, I can see Mouse King because of how she phrased it with some nice choices. And I already have a huge degree of familiarity with SS Warriors based on what she's already brought so far in context to what we've seen in creative stamina is a factor.
Quá tuyệt vời. Sau màn tái đấu này, hy vọng ban giám khảo chúng ta đã đưa ra được quyết định của mình, bởi vì chúng ta không còn sự lựa chọn nào khác đâu, không thể tái đấu được nữa đâu à. Và 3, 2, 1, xin mời ba vị ban giám khảo lật thẻ card open.
These slow-mos are really funny. With the triumphant music.
Với 2 thẻ lựa chọn.
That's so funny.
Đến từ giám khảo Harry và Wu-Tae. Nào, hãy thêm một gia vị nữa dành cho salad của chúng ta đi nào.
Đây là vị bơ nha.
Vị bơ à? Yeah. Chúc mừng salad ạ. Và chị Diệp Lâm Anh ơi, mình có một sự lựa chọn khác biệt giữa hai giám khảo còn lại. Chị có thể nói lên ý kiến của mình với trận đấu vừa rồi không ạ?
Chị rất là tiếc vì cái khúc cuối cùng ấy thì Mouse em lại nằm, tức là có một cái phần nằm và lúc đấy thì mới chính thức là em đuối. Nếu như mà cộng cả hai cái phần vào thì chị sẽ vote cho Quân.
She said, it's unfortunate that in the last seconds Mouse King seemed to be exhausted, so you could just lay there for a bit. So I'm voting for Mai Thien Quan. So we just completely ignored the rest of it, and we're just going off of 3 seconds at the end. I personally don't agree with that. You look at the fullness of the round. Now, that can be a factor of critique and feedback to give them, Did what she bring all the way up until that point, did that satisfy or did that showcase, what you want, not just 2 seconds? And then what's the point of doing 30 seconds if you're only going to count it for just 2? Bless it. Bless it. Whoops. Uh-oh. There we go.
Dạ vâng ạ, cảm ơn giám khảo Diệu Lâm Anh. Và xin mời giám khảo Harry Won.
Mouse Kings là thật ra thì lúc đầu ra chị cũng tưởng là em chắc em nhỏ xíu lắm. Thật ra thì nhìn tưởng là khoảng chừng cũng cỡ 19-20 thôi, nghĩ là nhỏ xíu vậy đó. Lúc đầu á mình cũng hơi là trời ơi sao lại chọn người hơi không biết là quá nguy hiểm cho mình không, hay là chọn để mình học hỏi thêm không ta. Đó là cái trong đầu của Harry lúc đó có suy nghĩ như vậy. Thì cho đến khi Mouse King đã nhảy thì ui, tuy người này nhỏ bé nhưng năng lượng cũng nhiều. Thật ra năng lượng nếu mà so về năng lượng thì Quân là khỏi nói nha, là thắng đó. Nhưng mà biết sao ta, cái dùng năng lượng của mình nó không có nằm một chỗ mà là nó có những cái biến đổi nhiều á, biến hóa cũng nhiều nữa. Thì đó là một cái ưu điểm mà Harry phải đưa về cho bạn Mouse King.
Okay, so here's what here's what they translated it to. Hari's comment. She talks so much, yet few things are useful, so I'm just summing it up. Oh, you're a real one for that. I love it. Though Mouse King seemed to be small in size, she managed to channel her energy and explore her body to create many variations. Wow. Wow. Thank you, Harry One. That's really funny. Thank you for throwing that little tidbit in there. Okay, that's gonna be Trauma. Trauma versus Soulfire's Bong Play Bong.
Chăm anh ơi.
Is what it looks like right here.
Đây, vũ công nào sẽ là người mà em muốn đánh bại đây?
Vũ công mà tôi có thể đánh bại trong ngày hôm nay chính là bóng playback của Swfv ạ.
That's really cute. That was cute. That was funny. They said what? F.E.D. That was a funny little joke too. That was cute.
Bóng playback để được thách đấu lên sàn đấu này. Tại sao lại chọn bóng playback của Swfv ạ?
Em muốn đấu thử với bóng playback tại vì bóng playback là một người bạn đồng hương với em.
Chị em đến từ thành phố Hòa Bình không Hòa Bình nhé.
Okay, so what that was is it says they both have the same hometown name Hoa Binh, which also translates to peace. So Bong jokes that sisters from Hoa Binh, but they're not in peace. Ooh, what a pun, a play on words. Oh, I love it. I love that. That's funny. I love me a good joke. That was good.
Nào. Ngày hôm nay có rất nhiều trận đấu đặc biệt mọi người ạ. Sẵn sàng chưa? Trận đấu bắt đầu. Ready?
Yeah. This track's cool. A little bit of like a crump influence is what it feels like without she's holding her arms. She's hitting, I mean,
4, 3,
stays that the whole time. Little light feet, come on now. Tic-tac-toe, let's go. Little millies were fun on that. Range was fun. I like her conversational elements there. How she phrases it's really fun too. Luck on the end. That was really fun. I enjoyed seeing that. So what's fascinating is that my girl from Oops, how she set up her beginning reminded me a lot of myself in the later 2010s and how I would freestyle. So mind you, I was a very young adult who I wasn't exposed to the freestyle scene at all until I was an adult and I was able to go and experience it firsthand. And so I was very limited in how I chose to reset, and I still struggle with that in a lot of elements to this day, so I can really pick up on it. And I talked about that during Street Woman Fighter Season 2, when I could tell the difference between somebody who has a heavy freestyle battle toolkit and somebody who is a choreographer who is just utilizing their dynamics and textures that they use in their own work. And so I would say with both of them, with Oops, she does a lot of resetting. She has some of her choices. I like a lot of her choices, but because it's so repetitive, it's hard for us to see, like, I guess more variations would be very helpful for her there. Bong play bong. Her phrasing is really nice. I think that she does tend to take a very humorous approach. Part of it I have noticed, not maybe with her, but I noticed with some people who do choose to go more humor. They tend to like be more chill. They tend to like to conserve energy. It's a good way to do that, but also to help you think about what am I going to do next. So it's like a troubleshooting ism that you learn to do, but not all do that. And I'm curious as to what's going on in her head as she navigates it as well. My vote would go to Swfv for this because of her phrasing, the usage of the floor, her variations, as well as how she sat in the track was really nice. With Oops, she unfortunately did not hit a lot of the elements of the track that would have really showcased a sense of, depth and complexity that could have really helped her in this battle. So that's why my vote would go to Swfv for this one. And my apologies if I keep coughing. I am sick, so we're going to do the best with what we have.
Rất là thú vị. Chúng ta cùng đến với phần lựa chọn kết quả từ ban giám khảo. 3 2 1 Card open.
Card open. Tie. Okay. The ties kill me when they don't make sense to tie it, but that makes sense. Swfv, we'll take it.
Thể lựa chọn đến từ ban giám khảo Harry Won và Wu-Tae.
It was
Chị
good.
Anh ơi, chị mong muốn một màn tái đấu ư?
Vì là đồng hương cho nên là mình muốn tái đấu thêm cái nữa xem như nào. Như này nè, cái phần của bạn Trâm Anh á là rơi vào đúng cái đoạn nhạc nó hơi khó ấy. Đấy thì sẽ hợp với một bạn mà biết về popping một tí thì sẽ dễ vào hơn. Cái đoạn nhạc của bạn hơi khó cho nên là chính vì vậy là Lâm Anh mong muốn có một cái phần tái đấu.
Dạ vâng ạ. Còn chị Harry Won thì sao ạ?
Okay, so she said, since both of them have the same town, I'm so curious for a rematch. I think she's kidding saying this. I don't think she is. Because they've wanted to tie it for worse things, but actually Tram Am got a difficult beat. Someone that has a popping background would be a better match for this beat, is what she said. I wouldn't agree with that. It doesn't matter what background you have. If you understand how your toolkit is in your movement quality. So for me, I have a popping background, I have a waving background, but I also have a background in house and in whacking and in light feet and in crump. Now, there are some styles that are more not as developed as others, and that just depends on the year for me and where I invest my time in my training. And so this type of track that she was given, I mean, doing popping would have been helpful, but you don't inherently have to do that style. You could have crumped it. You could have done house and made it work. If you're proficient and fluent in your craft, you can put on the Teletubbies theme song and it would have been fine. Like, you would be able to kill it nonetheless, right? So I personally don't think that it's, when it comes to music, it's simply a competency. Can you handle any type of track? That's why Red Bull Dance Your Style can be so interesting at times. It's because some of the songs that get played, you're like, ooh, I'm curious how this locker is going to take on an Afro track. And sometimes some really cool things end up happening. So I kind of just keep that in mind. So I don't inherently agree with her there. And I really don't think she's kidding a lot of times whenever I'm curious for a rematch. I would have believed it if she was kidding, if she didn't hold up both. But because she held up both, that's why for me I'm like, oh, she wanted one, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Ở dòng này thì có vẻ là bóng nhẹ nhàng hơn, thoải mái hơn và làm cho những người xung quanh người ta nhìn sung hơn á. Bạn này có nhiều
She locked in, that was good.
Có những mạnh mẽ cũng có, tức là nó rất là đa dạng cái màu sắc và đó là Harry phải chọn bạn.
Okay, so what Harry Won said, Bong in this round showcased a good variety. She did some strong moves that hype everyone around, but also managed to deliver subtle movements, and I kind of touched on, the difference between her loud and her soft movements and what that could be, which, I mean, that's really not a bad comment from Harry Won. You did it. Good job, girl. We're actually saying something that makes sense.
Có thể nói lý do tại sao mình có sự lựa chọn này không ạ?
트람 아는 크럼프를 하시는 분인가요? 저는 사실 일단 재밌게 봤는데 조금 더 뭔가 보여줬으면 좋겠는데 사실 기대가 좀 있으면 좀 아쉬운 것도 있어가지고 그 점이 좀 아쉬워서 더 자신감 있게 했으면 좋겠고 그리고 봉 같은 경우는 좀 이렇게 진지하게 보다가 이제 어느 순간에는 되게 웃으면서 재밌게 봤거든요. 그래서 되게 여유롭게 하는 모습을 잘 봤습니다.
Okay, Wu-Tae said, did Trump unperform Crumb, which I did pick up on her posture and her subtle choices and her jabs as well. And then I'm assuming she said yes. He said, I found your dance very interesting, but I hope you were able to show more, aka more variety, more key elements of what you would see in Crump, like getting bucked, just like what you would see with Bong Play Bong. She showcased some elements, not just one element of light feet, but a few, like a tic-tac-toe. She did a subtle, like, tone wop setup, things along the lines. So I can agree with him on that for sure. Maybe it's because I had such high expectations, so I was let down. That's not on the dancers for that, Wu-Tae. We know this, but remember, you know, whenever you're a judge of something, it is not the dancer's responsibility to meet my expectations of what they have for them. What is my role? My role is to be to execute whatever criteria is set before, and to be like the practitioner of the law, right? Of it. So that's what a judge is in the judicial branch of the U.S., whatever. So, so that's why for me, it's when it comes to judges having expectations, I will most of the time not be an advocate for it because it's subjective and it's emotional. Versus if the expectation is based solely on criteria, then you can say it did not meet the criteria in these ways. You know, that's way easier to justify because it's not about me and my expectations I have of you, because that's not fair to you. Does that make sense? And that's the same thing with regular relationships too. There's like a fundamental, like foundational base of having manners and being a decent human, of course, but there's also certain things that people expect so much of others, and that's not fair to them when that's not communicated either. So that wasn't technically a communicated thing, and so for her not meeting with his expectation is not inherently on her, but also this is a translation as well, so we can chalk it up to context too. So I'm not like anti what he said, but if that is the verbiage, that would be my rebuttal to that. And then he said, let me see. It's unfortunate you were not confident enough. And for Bong, at first, I watched your dance quite seriously, probably meaning his face emotion remains blank and focused. Or he was probably watching it with like the same degree of, like, when you watch battles, you see the vibes, you see the flow, you see the groove, you see how they set it up in their storytelling or their character that they present in the space. He was looking at it like it's more of a serious character being played, but he said, but the second half got me laughing. So she did take a more comedic approach, which I did notice too through her choices, like with their Millie variant was fun. He said, thank you for the fun moves. I really enjoyed this performance. I mean, I enjoyed it too. I think they both were fun.
Yeah. Thank you, Wu-Tae. Xin mời bạn Vũ Công. Bây giờ ai chưa lên sân khấu ạ? Còn nhiều lắm. Xin mời Amy của nhóm ướt.
I'm gonna see if I'll cough into this jacket or hoodie to see if that helps.
Nào đây, ai sẽ là người được Amy chọn để đánh bại?
Người tôi muốn thách đấu và muốn chiến thắng trong buổi đấu này hôm nay. Là chị. Mai Thiên Quân. Mai Thiên Quân.
Wow. Mai Thiên Quân ơi, mình lại một lần nữa được lên sân khấu để mình có thể nói cảm xúc với lời thách đấu này không?
Ok, hết mình đi em.
Sẵn sàng chứ nào? Và trận đấu bắt đầu. Ready?
I like her outfit, and I own all of that, actually. I just have a different color hat. This is inspiring my wardrobe. Thank you. She said, listen. That was fun. I like that she hit the DJ scratch like that. That was fun. That's really funny. I showed it like 5 times. Okay. So the vote between the two, I'd probably go SS Warriors for this, but it's not, like I said, not these huge astronomical wins in comparison to a lot of times, what is it, the quality or how they're setting it up, where it's like she's like this huge beast of a competitor. Like, yeah, she's a heavy battlehead for sure. She has a lot of experience outside of the show in that scene of things, right? But also we have to look at how is her condition today in this space. This is a high stress environment. She's representing as a leader of her crew. So, and also with song choices and with the order and how long filming days can be, do I think that these are her best rounds? I would need to look at more of her battle footage, and I believe the very first time we see her in the lens that they provide for us, remember that, I really liked her setups and her choices. Here it did feel a little bit more simpler in her, you know, like her scissor steps as well as in her rock and her bounce. But for me, it's really about what you do with your information more so than just the information itself. And I think between the two, with Oops, her movements had some energy behind them, had some variety, but I do think SS Warriors, when you're dealing with pockets, and that's a big thing, I think that is important to note, when you're dealing with being in the pocket of a track, it's the groove of the track, it's diving deeper than just surface level in what you hear, and it allows your audience, those that are judging, those that are just spectating, to also dive in with you, because you are a visual representation of your music, and so that does play a bigger role than you think, regardless if it's in the battle scene or choreography scene. So for me, my preference is going to go to SS Warriors. Could they have rematched it? Possibly, you know, but I think that's up to the discretion of 3 people's opinions and not mine. I'm just commentating for the vibes, and I am intrigued on how this is going to pan out, but I really like my Oops Girls fit. It's nice to see when it's like I have pants that fit like that and I have a hat like that. Makes me excited to try it and wear it one day. I love it. She goes. I like the hug exchange. Thank you. Love that choice.
Hai bạn của công này có cái vibe rất là giống nhau, có cái mood rất là giống. Chúng ta hãy cùng đến với kết quả của ban giám khảo cho trận đấu vừa rồi. 3 2 1. Xin mời lực thẻ card open. Và chúng ta đã có kết quả, phần thắng đã nghiêng về hai team quân của nhóm SS Warriors. Hãy gắn thẻ chiến thắng lên bảng của mình đi nào.
I like the fact, just a side note, I like the fact that people aren't shying away from challenging SS Warriors, because I know a lot of people would want to avoid them like the plague in the battle scene sense of the show, because they're tough. You know, and that's why they didn't have as many battles as other groups did, but they ended up winning because of the quality of their performance. So that's something to keep in mind too. I like the fact that we do have these battles to celebrate.
Yeah, hãy gắn thẻ lên bảng của mình nha.
That's okay. We win some, we lose some. That's life.
Mong muốn một màn tái đấu vậy ạ.
So what are we
Thật ra
saying
thì
here?
hơi ngạc nhiên về Amy, tại vì bình thường thì người ta sẽ không có chọn đối thủ là Quân. Với lại bên ngoài của Amy thì có vẻ hơi nhỏ con một chút xíu, nhưng mà khi em lên nhảy chị không có thấy em nhỏ, cảm thấy cực kỳ là thoải mái. Cái đó là một cái điểm mà Harry cảm thấy là mình phải đưa cho bạn này phải thêm một cái cơ hội nữa. Đó là cái lý do mà Harry phải đưa hai người này là tái đấu với nhau.
Okay, she said, actually, I'm very surprised at Ami's choice of opponent. However, when Ami got on stage, she didn't seem small at all. So I think I need to give her another chance. I think that she's saying that Mai Thien Kwan is a strong battler, but Ami's newer to the battling side, so she wanted to see Ami's potentials, was kind of in like that parentheses. Okay, I mean, like, I get it, but also, this is, for me, you know, you're a judge, you're not a coach here, I think is my point. So if you're gonna tie something, it's not your place to tie it for them to kind of do your whims of, I want to see your potential, so I'm gonna vote tie so I can keep seeing her. No. Hopefully she can get called out again, or she can call someone out and you have the privilege of watching her again, but that's not your job to prolong a battle for the sake of your curiosity. That's right up there with Streetman Fighter. I've talked about it many a times, and it's still a really big, that was a really big issue I had, and I still feel that way there. So I'm always going to, anytime we see somebody mention that, I will call it out, because it is not your job as a judge to do. So that's my note there.
Cảm
See,
ơn
what
video
does Steele
này.
say?
Và chị Lâm Anh ơi, mình có thể nói lên ý kiến với sự lựa chọn của mình không nào?
Lúc mà Amy ra là giờ Lâm Anh cũng nghĩ rằng là đoán là xem bạn chọn ai, thì cũng nghĩ trong đầu là sẽ.
I really like her hair, by the way. I don't know if I've ever said that. DLA's hair.
Gặp nhau cuối cùng là chọn thật. Lúc mà,
So fun.
mà Amy ra, chị nghĩ là em sẽ nhảy locking cơ, bởi vì cái style của em mặc đồ hôm nay là đúng locking luôn. Nhưng mà thực sự là khi mà hai màu old school lên thì chị vẫn thấy rằng là cái lực của Quân nó mạnh hơn chút xíu. Và chị nghĩ là chắc là tại vì vấn đề về kinh nghiệm thôi, battle nhiều, nghe nhạc nhiều, nên là cũng sẽ có một cái sự nó chắc hơn. Nhưng mà cái màu của Amy cũng là cái màu mà chị thích, old school.
Dạ, cảm ơn chị Lâm Anh.
Okay, she said, when Ami got on stage, I thought she would pick Mai Thien Kwan because these two dancers have similar old school color / style. Ami's choice of clothes got me expecting she would perform locking. In the end, I think Mai Thien Kwan's moves were more powerful. So I guess it's like the first half is more of her commentary, not her justification, meaning I hope that's the case. Because you can assume all day long she could sit there and do crump in that if she wanted to, because that's her choice. That's her choice of style. But I can understand how, to me, honestly, I've seen more dancers that do house in this type of fit than in locking. Just depends on the country. There's a house dancer from Korea that I follow, and he wears fits like this quite often, which is always really fun for me because he's such a vibe. But anyway. Yeah, okay. Mai Thien Kwan's moves were more powerful. I mean, they were referencing the beat kills or the heavy basses represented, so maybe that's probably her only, like, you know, justifiable reason why she picked Mai Thien Kwan over Ami. That's life.
Và Vui Tây ơi, tại sao Vui Tây lại lựa chọn phần chiến thắng thiên về Mai Thiên Quân của nhóm SS Warriors?
일단 그 SS 워리어즈의 승을 준 이유는 칸이 침착하게 자기 춤을 잘 보여줬고 또 음악도 잘
She was patient.
자기 거를
Yeah.
좀 잘 침착하게 한 것 같아서 승을 드렸고, 반면 또 에이미 같은 경우는 또 플로어 무브를 너무 확실하게 여기서 되게 좀 잘 쓰는 걸 또 보여줘서 되게 인상 깊게 잘 봤습니다.
Okay, so he said Mai Thien Kwan was very calm and composed in delivering her moves. She felt the music well, and for Ami, I'm very impressed about her flow. So, yeah, I mean, in general, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, both brought those two elements, so I think that's totally fine. And so him voting who he voted for, I mean, I told you I was going to vote for SS Warriors too, and I said my piece about it as well.
Yeah. Và cảm ơn ban giám khảo chúng ta. Hy vọng là với phần trình diễn vừa rồi, mọi người, các bạn vũ công sẽ có thể rút cho mình thêm được những kinh nghiệm cho những trận battle sau nữa. Lại một lần nữa thấy sự xuất hiện của một thành viên nhóm Salad.
Mayonnaise của Salad ạ. Mayonnaise của Team Salad.
Chị Mayonnaise Salad ạ. Sao nhìn kêu cười vậy May?
Em chấp nhận thôi ạ.
Vậy thì còn đợi gì nữa? Hãy cùng chào đón lên sân khấu vũ công Mèo nhóm Salad. mừng sao mấy? Kêu nhìn em kêu hỏi thăm sức khỏe em thôi chứ lần này là của Mel nha. Mel ơi, và vũ công mà Mel muốn chỉ điểm và chiến thắng là ai?
Vũ công mà Mel muốn đánh bại là Đỗ Linh. Đỗ Linh.
Bây giờ mình nhận lại được thách đấu này thì cảm giác thế nào nào?
Em cũng khá mong đợi trận thách đấu này, mong là tỷ số sẽ nghiêng hết về em ạ.
Nếu mà hôm nay Linh thắng Mel thì Mel sẽ free phòng tập cho Linh 1 tuần.
Đây là một trận đấu có một cái lời đề nghị khá là thơm thơm. Vậy thì hãy sẵn sàng đi nào. Trận đấu bắt đầu nha. Ready?
They said, Sal and Mel's remark, if you win this round, I will give you a 1-week free access to the dance practice room, is what was stated here. Funny.
Fight!
The little swipe or that shing. Okay, that was fun little moment. I'm glad that she made contact with the hat. Okay, my vote will probably go to Salad because of her I'm sorry, her phrasing and her choices. I mean, I don't think like either of them were astronomically like head above the other or head like the worse than the other. I feel like both have major areas that they can grow in for sure. I would say just fundamentals with Oops in general is something that could really help her. And then with Mel, with Salad, her phrasing was fine, but then I could tell whenever she was running out of stuff to do because of what she was reverting to. So I think that would be my overall note with both of them. My vote would go to Salad, though, based on phrasing on the music, on what I was given, as well as, you know, I liked her prop usage. I think it was cool. And the fact she made contact with her hat was helpful. It was a fun little gimmick that she did. Normally when I see hat tricks, they're done in light feet or in crumps. So it did feel kind of just, you know, there for the gimmick, not really based on any style influence, but, you know, I digress. So that would be my vote there.
Yeah. Và chúng ta hãy cùng đến với kết quả của ban giám khảo. 3 2 1 Card open.
I can see that.
Và chúng ta đã có phần thắng nghiêng về Đỗ Linh nhóm Oops. Chúc mừng Đỗ Linh. Chúc mừng Đỗ Linh đã giành chiến thắng và mang về cho đội của mình một tuần tập free tại phòng tập của Salad nha. Chúc mừng nhóm Oops. Tại sao thầy có mong muốn thấy hai bạn vũ công chúng ta tái đấu ạ?
일단 배틀 자체가 좀 아쉬웠고요. 본인들의 기량을 좀 더 잘 보여줬어야 되지 않나 싶은데 좀 보여주다만 느낌을 좀 받았었던 것 같아요. 네, 그리고 아무래도 또 팀의 리더고 이러면 좀 더 확실하게 이길 수 있게 보여줬어야 되지 않나고 저는 우승부를 드렸습니다.
Okay, he said, I found this battle extremely unfortunate. Two of you should have delivered your skill sets more, and there were errors in both routines. Yes, that's kind of what I talked about. Dolan, since you're the leader, you should have dominated the battle, so my choice was a draw. Now, for me, I'm like, I understand that, because if you're a leader, being a leader is a different skill set, but also leading by example is something that can be very helpful, especially in these spaces, you know, so it's the ability for your team to be able to, you know, be supported by you, you're a practitioner of the craft and those types of things. So I understand his point in that. It is just, I think it's just a very interesting conversation to have on a leader's responsibility depending on the space and what skill sets are to be utilized or to be held accountable to. So yeah, I get where he's coming from. I mean, I said that too, that wasn't inherently anything like crazy about each side. And also yeah, both of them have areas to grow in for sure.
Nhưng trận tái đấu đó đã không diễn ra bởi vì chúng ta có hai chọn đổ linh đến từ chị Diệu Lâm Anh và chị Harry Won. Chị Harry Won ơi, tại sao mình lại có sự lựa chọn như vậy ạ?
Thật ra là như này, thật ra Mel cũng làm tốt đó, nhưng mà những cái sai sót, một cái điểm của Mel làm cho Harry hơi mất tập trung là khi mà mình rớt xuống cái nón á, nó hơi bị sắp xếp. Nó hơi kiểu như là hụt một chút xíu ở đó và mình mất tập trung ở đó. Nếu mà đúng rồi, nếu mà chỗ đó mà smooth hơn thì Harry nghĩ là có thể là Mel thắng. Đó là một cái mà thiếu sót một chút xíu cho nên Mel bị thua. Còn Đỗ Linh thì Harry có cái cảm nhận là lúc đầu thì Đỗ Linh hơi bị gồng á, cảm giác cũng cố gắng hết sức nhưng mà lúc đó chưa có được thoải mái. Lần này thì Harry cảm thấy là có sự thoải mái hơn và uyển chuyển. Âm nhạc này Harry cũng cảm thấy khá là hợp, cho nên Harry đưa điểm cho Linh.
Cảm ơn Harry.
Harry said, Mel actually did well. However, your choice to drop the hat and do that move where you slide your feet over, it seems to break the flow. I can understand that. Not smooth. And for Dolan, your former battle, you seemed a bit tense and not comfortable in your body. However, in this one, you got more flexible and the music suits you well. With all due respect, Harry Won, we're not supposed to be making our choices based off of past experiences. You look at what you're given and you make your choice off of that. I understand that may feel like a justifiable reason to you, but unfortunately, all that does is it makes your perspective more subjective, and people who have a really terrible round before all of a sudden get better. That doesn't necessarily mean that they should automatically win because of their improvement. That's not what this section of the competition is. And you guys are not mentors, you guys are judges. So keep that in mind, homegirl, for the future.
Vậy thì chúng ta hãy cùng đến với trận đấu tiếp theo. Sẽ lại một lần nữa là một thành viên của nhóm Oops. Xin mời Vũ Công, Hiểu Khánh. Nào, bây giờ sẽ tới lượt em đưa ra lời thách đấu. Vũ công nào là vũ công em muốn đánh bại ngày hôm nay nào?
Em xin phép được gọi tên chị Len Len của Warrior. Len Len của Warrior.
Love it. Have you ever said she reminds me of China? The girl who was in Descendants and she sings What's My Name? And I mean that in the best compliment ever. Not many people can pull that hair off, and I love it with the blue. Gorgeous.
Lần đầu tiên gặp nhau thì chị cũng respect em là em muốn học hỏi nhiều cái hơn nữa. Ra hôm nay là em cũng đến đây để thể hiện tất cả những gì mà mình có đến tốt nhất.
Vậy thì thể hiện hết mình nhá. Xin mời hai đội hãy sẵn sàng cổ vũ cho thành viên của đội mình nào. Trận đấu bắt đầu nha. Ready? And fight!
Her phrasing on her waving could improve for sure. Okay. Let's see what we're trying to do. A little overhead. A little ding ding. Hey, they're matching. That was actually pretty smooth how she dropped it like that. Most people would be like crashing, but that was really smooth. That was fun. There's so much power in that. I would have gotten whiplash. That's awesome, Miss Ma'am. That's nice. Yeah. Two things. Firstly, I don't know when it comes to how they're audio overlaying this, if these are the official songs that they danced to, or they did the copyright safe equivalences for YouTube. That's something to note. So, secondly, I like the fact that they're technically matching with the white and the military green, or that khaki. I think that's really fun. Okay, my vote in this, I'd probably go to SS Warriors. Based on the music that they gave us in the overlay, I do prefer how she approached her music. I like her variety. I liked her intensity in certain parts. Even with the hair flip, it was so impactful to me. It was very impressive. And also, when she dropped down, normally you see when somebody crashes, you could tell like there's this lack of control in the choice, but here it felt 100% in control, and it flowed well in the sense of like the actual transition. It didn't have any like bumps about her transition, which to me I think it's a skill. You'd be surprised of how tricky it is to actually, you know, vibe through a particular movement and give the impression that you're falling. But I don't know if that was her goal to make it look that way, but it did come across that way. And so overall, I would say my SS Warriors girl is a smidgen stronger on multiple facets of how she was able to showcase herself in this specific battle.
Và ban giám khảo ơi, đây là lúc mọi người đưa ra quyết định của mình. 3.
What are we doing?
2. 1. Xin mời lực thẻ card open. Như vậy là phần thắng đã nghiêng về Len Len nhóm SS Warriors. Xin chúc mừng Len Len. Và Len Len ơi, em sẽ dán một thẻ lên miệng của mình. Chúc mừng em. Và giám khảo của chúng ta có những cái sự lựa chọn rất là đồng nhất với nhau. Xin mời chị Diệp Anh hãy nói lên ý kiến của mình ở phần thi đấu vừa rồi ạ.
Lúc mà chị xem cái phần battle của Hiểu Khánh thì chị thấy là em rất là dẻo, và cái động tác của em nó ăn vào nhạc nó rất là smooth luôn. Sau đấy thì người được thách đấu là Len Len, thì cái năng lượng của Len Len đè cái cứng ngắc luôn. Tức là cái năng lượng của bạn Len Len nó quá mạnh ấy, với cả cái động tác nó cũng chính xác, rằng được vào mấy cái beat nó cũng đáng đồng tiền.
Cảm ơn giám khảo Diệp Lâm Anh.
Okay, she said HANOIXGIRLS had good flexibility and was very smooth, groovy to match the music. After that, Len Len's burst of energy smashed the stage, and her timing was very good to create a good hook point on the specific beat. So I guess musicality is kind of what she's saying, that Len Len had better musicality than HANOIXGIRLS. Yeah? Okay.
Và xin mời Wu-Tae.
주장르가 재즈 펑크라고 돼 있어서 힙합을 안 하시는 줄 알았는데 힙합도 잘하시는 것 같아요. 하지만 또 배틀은 또 잘하는 사람이 이기는 게 맞기 때문에 렌렌님한테 카드를 드렸습니다.
Thank you, Wu-Tae.
He said, I saw that Hakan put jazz funk in the profile, so I didn't expect you to do hip-hop. I think your hip-hop was good, however, I must pick the one that danced better, so I picked Lin Lin. that to me is, I feel like this is a better way to showcase feedback that may inherently not be relevant to the decision being made, because he said, I think your hip hop was good. However, like, he didn't make the choice based off of the fact that she did a style that was different than what was on her profile. That would have been not a red flag, but it would have been like, hey, Wu-Tae, we can't do that, right? Because that's not, a lot of times as judges, you don't know what the premise of who's competing, what they have up their sleeve at all. Like, I'm not supposed to look at a battle and go, oh, I know that Slim Boogie is known for popping, so if I see him whip out whacking, then all of a sudden he's going to get my vote because it's so nice to see a style change on him specifically. That's not fair to his opponent nor towards him. So, a side note, I think it'd be actually really fun. I may need to ask him about that if he's ever considered doing that. But anyway, sorry. But yeah, I don't mind the fact that he brought it up, especially because he followed it up and said, however, I must pick who I thought danced better. I thought Lin danced better. So I do appreciate the fact that he kept the integrity of the space of judging in that front, which is nice.
Và chúng ta sẽ tiếp tục đến với trận đấu tiếp theo. Đây là vũ công đã từng xuất hiện trên sàn đấu này cũng 2 lần rồi, nhưng mà toàn bị thách đấu thôi. Đây sẽ là lúc em ấy được đi thách đấu người khác. Xin mời lên sàn đấu của chúng ta, vũ công bóng play bang.
Bong play
bang.
Bong play bang. So not bong play bong. Bong play bang.
Bóng play bang.
Bang.
Hãy chỉ điểm ra đối thủ của em là ai nào. Vũ công mà mình có thể đánh bại được ngay lúc này thì chính là
Shing.
Shin.
That's funny. Shin, shing, shing. It's
Món
funny.
salad này nhiều vị thua quá. Chị có muốn thêm vị thắng không?
Thầy cay thế.
Cảm ơn em nha.
Em cảm ơn vì là sẽ cho em một chiến thắng hay như nào? Nào.
Oh, they
Hãy
didn't
cùng
say.
xem sau trận đấu này thì món ăn salad này sẽ được thêm vị gì nhá.
I love this glitter a lot. It's cute.
Ready?
She's cute.
Fight!
She threw her hat down. But to me, I don't think it broke the flow or anything. But I wonder if our judges are sensitive to hats being dropped. Is it considered taboo? I think somebody mentioned that. Oh, bone play bang, that was funny. Forward rolls. Forward rolls, everybody. That was fun. Ha 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 ha. Ooh.
Năm, 4, 3, 2, và 1. Hết rồi.
Okay, so I would vote for Bong Play Bang for this, but I really do like Shin's musicality choices. I like how she went about some of these music choices with that with the vibration. That was really nice, but also her patience before she started rotating her hips I really enjoyed. But it's not just about like how you listen to your music. I liked that both played with their music well. I do think Bong Play Bang has more variety in her choices and how she chose to pick and select how she created her variants. So I do like that. Remember, it's my preference. That's fine. You know, could I see them picking Shin because of her musicality moments? I can totally see that. But I know for me, that would be, I would pick Bong Play Bang for this. Honestly, I wish if we had more complexity from Shin, I would have voted for her, like, in all honesty. I really liked a lot of her choices, but because a lot of them were so simple and she ended up resetting a couple of times, that would be my, in general, note for her. Now, will the judges pick her? I don't know. We're about to find out, right? They also both dropped their hats. And it did take me a second to kind of get saturated in Shin's set. They may tie it. I would personally think it would be fun to tie it. To see them all both dance to the same song. Sorry, let me say this too, because I know that just sounded like I just want to see it for fun. No. I could see this be a rematch because I really liked, like, it's up to preference on what trumps what. Like, for me, I liked Shin's musicality, but it was simpler. But then Bon Play Bong, I liked her choices in her musicality, but it felt like normal musicality that you hear on a type of track it was, if that makes sense. So for me, going on a rematch, it wouldn't surprise me. And I don't know if I would opt for it if I was in their position, but that wouldn't be something that I would be like, no, that's uncalled for, you know. It's all up to the justification, but that's my perspective on it.
Hai,
The slow-mo concerning looks is so fun.
1. Xin mời lực thẻ card open.
Card open. So fire. He tied it. So fire. It's funny that she hides herself after she shows every card.
Như vậy với 2 phiếu được dành tặng cho bóng Play Bang của Swfv. Và bóng Play Bang đã chiến thắng ở phần thi này. Hai bữa con hãy gắn thẻ lên miệng của mình đi nè. Và sau trận đấu này thì giám khảo Woo đã đưa ra sự lựa chọn muốn tái đấu. Tại sao ạ?
사실 봉님이 훨씬 더 배틀 면에서는 잘하긴 했었어요. 근데 이제 신님이 가지고 계신 게 되게 좀 많은 것 같은데 한 번 더 보고 싶다는 생각이 좀 들어서 타이를 들었습니다.
Nhưng mà ngày hôm nay với lại 2 phiếu.
Okay, Wu-tae said Bong delivered a better performance in this battle, but I believe Shin has more to showcase, so I want to have a rematch. That could be a translation thing. I believe Shin has more to showcase, then she should have showcased it there. That's my hot take on that.
Đến từ giám khảo Harry Won và Diệu Lâm Anh thì chúng ta cũng đã chọn được người chiến thắng ở trận đấu vừa rồi, đó chính là bóng Play Bang. Và xin mời giám khảo Harry Won.
Cảm thấy thiếu một chút xíu ở Shin. Thật ra Shin cảm thấy là một cái gì đó chứa nhiều nha, nhưng mà cảm giác là chưa có cái bùng nổ đúng lúc. Với lại ở cái vòng này thì hơi bất bình tĩnh, tức là muốn chiến đấu quá, cho nên Harry có cái cảm giác hơi kiểu như gấp á. Còn Bong Play Bang chơi nhịp hơi giỏi nha. Và nếu mà nói về cái tinh thần battle thì Bóng là phải thắng rồi. Chúc mừng em.
Cảm ơn giám khảo Harry.
Harry Won, there's something missing about Shin. Everything seems flat, and I think you lost your calm. I think she's just missing some variety, but I think she has a good ear, though. I'm gonna put it that way. Goodness. I think we're down to our last battle, maybe, and then we have a Bada excerpt, which is cool. Come on now.
Thảo bé. Thảo bé, nãy giờ chờ lâu không em?
Em chờ hơi lâu ạ.
Em chọn đối thủ luôn đi nè.
Người mà em có thể tự tin đánh bại ngày hôm nay. Là một người chị của em. Em sẽ cho chị thấy là chị rồi út sẽ là một lựa chọn sai lầm. Không sai, sao sai thế nào? Thế thì chị cũng cho em thấy là cái lựa chọn rời đi của chị là đúng đắn nhất. Thật quá.
Nào, chúng ta hãy cùng chứng minh điều đó xem nào qua trận đấu này. Trận đấu bắt đầu. Ready? Fight!
that's fun. Shing! I don't feel like she's dancing on the music at all, but it could just be audio overlay. But that would be my big note if this is how she's phrasing it to the track. She used to be on Oops, right? That's probably why they picked her. She said, let me show you I can do that too. I don't know if that was on time though. To the other side, Okay, my vote will probably go to F.E.D, but there wasn't really anything inherently like shocking or captivating about either of them. Even with the split, the flow was, the flow was flowing, but she could have done it in silence, my girl from Oops, based on just how the audio was. So that'll be my note there, to listen to your music, because I'd be clocking a big ol' this if she was my opponent and she wasn't entertaining the music at all. Why have it, right? And then my other girl with F.E.D, I understand why she went with the split 2-1 up, Oops, but I don't know if it was on time, just like with Oops' case. And her phrasing was very predictable, and it was very simple as well. So that would be like, for me, I can see, I will assume that F.E.D probably took this. Makes sense, but it's definitely not one of the top tier battles that we've seen out of all of the battles.
Hãy cùng đến với phần đưa thẻ bài của giám khảo. Xin mời ba vị giám khảo của chúng ta. 3, 2, 1. Xin mời lật thẻ card open. Chúng ta đã có phần chiến thắng riêng về Thanh Tú nhóm F.E.D. Xin chúc mừng Thanh Tú. Cảm ơn Thảo bé nha. Em hãy quay về và dán thẻ lên bảng của mình. Sự lựa chọn này có vẻ đơn giản với các vị ban giám khảo ạ. Chị Harry Won thì sao ạ?
Thật ra thì Thảo bé rất là dẻo nha. Dẻo thì hay, nhưng mà vấn đề là từ đầu tới cuối bị một màu. Đó là mình cảm thấy hơi thiếu một chút xíu. Còn Thanh Tú thì đa dạng hơn, cái động tác nó chắc hơn, cái nhịp nó làm cho cái nhịp nó sôi động hơn. Đó là Harry phải đưa thẻ cho Thanh Tú.
Yeah.
Okay, she said it's good that Thao Bay is flexible, but there's no highlight in your dance from start to finish. Thang Tu's got more variety to her moves. But both actually make me feel that way, which is very interesting that Hadi is saying that, because that's how I feel. But it's interesting. Cool. All right. I can agree with that. Yeah.
Thảo bé, cái phần kết hợp giữa thân trên với cả thân dưới nó chưa được smooth ấy. Đó, nên là nó tạo một cái phần battle nó chưa được tốt lắm cho em ngày hôm nay.
Vâng ạ, cảm ơn giám khảo.
She said about Thao Bay, her upper body doesn't connect with her lower body very well.
Chị làm anh rất nhiều. Và xin mời phần đưa ra nhận xét của Wu Tae.
I think I was so bothered, I think, by the fact that she didn't listen to her music at all.
아니었다고 생각이 들고요. 타오베님이 조금 더 음악 듣는 표현이라든지 소리 표현이 조금 더 확실했다면 제가 봤을 때는 단투님이 졌을 수도 있겠다 싶은 그런 배틀이었어서 좀 비등비등했다고 생각했지만 그래도 단투님이 조금 더 침착하게 잘한 것 같아서 승리를 드렸습니다.
Okay, he said, it's hard to pick the winner for this battle. If Thalbe managed to deliver more in sync with the music, thank you, Tay, maybe she would have become the winner. This battle doesn't have a wide gap in skill difference, but Thine 2 was calmer, so I picked her as the winner. Yeah, like, we gotta dance to our music, guys. Bless it.
Trận đấu khôi phục kỷ niệm kẻ yếu đã kết thúc, và hãy dành một lần nữa một tràng pháo tay thật lớn cho tất cả chúng ta nào. 34 vũ công của mặt ở đây, hôm nay các bạn đã làm rất tốt rồi. Hãy tiếp tục cố gắng ở những vòng sau nha.
That's cute. They're so funny. Bada's fit is fitting. I'm telling you right now. She said, she's such a vibe.
Cái này phải hàng riêng ta. Cái này phải Battling thiệt không? Rồi mình đứng hình luôn á. Muốn xỉu tại chỗ luôn.
오늘 제일 중요한 그 챌린지 안무 교환식이 있다고 들었어요. 잘 준비되셨나요? 네. 그러면 저도 같이 가도 될까요?
She's like, can I watch you guys do your stuff?
파이팅!
Fighting is right. I'm fearless. I really like the timing for that. Take a photo. I love this. Ooh. I love this translator vibing out with her like this. Yeah, she's so cute. So fun. Look at her. She's like. She's so funny.
제가 스트릿 우먼 파이터 2 이 챌린지 교환식을 할 때가 생각나는 것 같은데 퍼포먼스 자체가 너무 멋있었고 저희 팀이 챌린지 교환식 했을 때보다 더 잘 짜주신 것 같아서 너무너무 멋있게 잘 봤습니다. 너무너무 고생하셨어요.
Okay, so what she said is being here makes me reminisce my time at the K-pop copy mission in Street Women Fighter 2. Every team's choreo today was dope. I think your choreo is even better than mine. I know that you've just finished the rank mission, so I'd like to learn the leader's choreo. Well, I don't know if she said that yet, but she said everything was really cool and we loved it. So I know some people will be like, Bada, no, your K-pop choreo was the best. Here's the thing, it's Team Bebe, right? And so also too, whenever you're living as yourself, right? And you're doing your own choreo, you know your headspace whenever you were making it. And so whenever you look at other people's, especially when you're no longer in it, and you're looking at others and you're like, wow, that's super cool, that's low-key better than mine, you're going off of your own, like, it's subjective. Like, I really liked Bada's choreo, but Bada and Superkill gave each other run for their freaking money during K-pop. Like, for me, I didn't know who was going to take that out of the two in comparison to the other ones that I had seen. I do think that the copy mission here, the challenge was more equal in the sense of, like, what the expectations for copying were, but when it comes to the caliber of the cleanliness, that's a completely different story, right? So I think that's my note there. But yeah, I mean, like, Bebe was very consistent throughout the season, just like a lot of these groups are very consistent throughout the season, and Bebe's not heavily known for battling either, so they struggled in the opening episodes just like a lot of these crews did. So because we're living this one in real time, just like we did in season 2, we're going to be able to see these groups grow, just like we got to see Bebe grow as a team, not Bada and the girls as a team, as well as all the other groups like Jam Republic being able to be unified as a group, and despite such a short turnaround time for a lot of their things, Mana Queen. So I am looking forward to that for sure.
이제 여러분들도 이제 챌린지를 만드셨다고 들었습니다. 개그 미션. 저도 이제 리더 개그 미션의 챌린지에 같이 참여하고 싶은데 혹시 알려주실 수 있을까요?
They're like, yeah.
그러면 만든 사람, 뺏은 사람.
She had to take the jacket off to learn it. Woo, so cute.
Fever. Fever.
They're all learning it with her. They're so funny. They're fangirling so hard. It's really cute.
Fever, fever,
Okay.
fever, fever. Ba-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Hot, hot, nhau.
어렵네.
Did it, did it, did it.
치지? 치지?
Yeah, and out. Hay rồi.
Oh my god.
Em nhớ rồi. Hết rồi đó.
Oh my god. Please one more time.
Please, one more time. That was funny. That would be me. Can I have 30 minutes, please, in a mirror? Oh, notice that she's starting to blank after the first 4/8 counts. That's me all the time. Yep. 8/8 counts. It's wild, guys. It's a lot. I'll be like, again.
Trong 2 lần nữa.
She
어느
was.
정도 다 배운 것 같으니까 저희 리더분들이랑 같이 해봐도 될까요?
With all the leaders? She's like, can I do it with all the leaders?
No, bởi vì đừng có cua em mà. Anh lướt qua, khi thậm chí anh thoát ra để mà đừng có cua em mà. Anh nhân ra, nên tìm lối ra thì fever, fever, phải quá, nào, trong cơn fever, fever, phải quá, nào.
The shaky camera is cute.
Ready? Fight! Fight!
Yeah, way to go, everybody. Cute.
일단 첫 번째로 다치지 마시고 그리고 두 번째로 제가 진짜 해주고 싶은 말은 저는 사실 스트레이 도군 파이트 2를 진행하면서 정말 미쳐서 했거든요. 정말 너무 그 순간에 몰입해 있어서 기억이 안 날 정도로 정말 미쳐서 했었어요. 정말 이거 아니면 안 돼라는 그런 마인드를 했었는데 그렇게 마지막이라고 계속 생각하고 하니까 영원히 그 순간을 기억해 주시는 분들이 되게 많더라고요. 그래서 여러분도 이 순간이 마지막이라고 계속 생각하고 그리고 이 순간이 다시는 오지 않을 순간들이라는 걸 생각하면서 열심히 자기의 것을 계속 보여주면서 증명하면서 해주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 파이팅!
Okay, so she said, first and foremost, don't get injured. When I was in Street Woman Fighter 2, I seemed to have lost my mind. I was so immersed in the competition that I just practiced like crazy and couldn't focus on anything else. So second, I want you to dance like it's going to be the last time people see you dance. This is it, no redo. Having that in mind keeps me motivated, and I'm happy that the audience was able to remember our efforts. Please also note that you can never relive this moment, so always give your best to conquer the mission. So she's like, be present, enjoy what you're doing, but also if you lose your mind, you're not alone. We did too. It's kind of what that was. I think that was really fun. Yeah. That's cute. That was really cute. And I think that's the end, yeah? For the most part. I mean, they're showing clips for the next episode.
Mọi người ơi, Trinh ơi.
Bây giờ tôi xin công bố nhiệm vụ tiếp theo dành tặng cho các bạn. Đó chính là nhiệm vụ siêu đội hình.
Để thôi. Hay em làm hẳn động tác khác đi. Không, khách làm thế mà. Người khác nữa. Ý chị là cái lúc mà em xuống thì em có thể nhanh hơn được không? Không. Chị hôm qua chị không đi nên chị không hiểu ấy.
Oh, we've already seen this kind of trailer for the show, which is cool. And I know that I'm going to be looking at this pretty soon, ha 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 ha, because the episode is officially out by the time of me watching this. But in a nutshell, I mean, there's nothing really really surprising about any of the battles. You kind of feel about the same as they have. I'm glad that we got to see more and understand more context and movement quality and get to be introduced to a couple different individuals that didn't get as much screen time, which is really nice. And this does make me look forward to seeing the Mega Crew excerpt, because that is my most familiar territory as somebody who has adjudicated Mega Crews in my past time, so which is really fun. But yeah, this was enjoyable for sure. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch, and thank you Lee Min Kwan for sending me a translation for the special episode so I could understand better context. I really appreciate it. And also keep in mind, guys, that anytime that I watch an episode in another language, whatever the translation is, I do always try to keep in mind there is a chance there's context that I'm missing, or the verbiage is not exactly word for word what they were saying. So a lot of my feedback is being very specific to what is being said or what is being read. So please keep that in mind if you're like, yo, she's out of pocket for that. I'm going off of a very specific sentence, even if it's not translated 100%. I'll do better about, hopefully one day I'll be a polyglot and I'll know like 15 languages. That would be super cool. But hopefully I can at least be helpful as your guide, as a commentator for the Street Fighter franchise of things. So you guys know me, I know you, I'm Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.